And it's going to be a long, long time. Hey, folks, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, we're a rocket, man. We're rocketing off to someplace. I'm not sure exactly where, but hey, we're here, and that's all that counts. And good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it, and welcome to speak favor over all of us. Hope you're having a fabulous day as I go through the motions. Yep, I went through the motions. So, what's up, folks? It is Wednesday, hump day. Nina always has her show, but did you know that in certain occult circles, each day has a different meaning? And if you're practicing a particular modality, whatever that may be, days have importance. For instance, Wednesday is considered intelligence. Sunday is beauty. Monday is prosperity. Tuesday is health. Wednesday, as I said, intelligence. Thursday is joy. Friday is eternal. In other words, in respective, look inside. Saturday is for the divine. So far freaking out. So how are y'all? So good to see you. Hey, all the moderators, so good to see you. And hey, Grandpa Brian, got your email, and Grandpa Brian wants to come on, so we're gonna make that happen. What else? Hey, John, what's up? Seth, Sydney, good to see you. David Barry, much love. Brother, had you on my spirit mind the other day. Chloe, what's up? Deborah Sloan, much love. Susie Q, how are you? David Castle, how's the tattoo, brother? And how is Rufus? Martin and Heidi, much blessings to you too. And of course to Tony as well. Hey, Marie, good to see you. Lisa, hello. Lucky Smith, how are you doing, Francis? Good to see you. Hey, Nina, much love to you, darling. Who else is out there? Heads too, good to see you. Salutation. Hey, Big Al, here you're in Tennessee, heading westbound. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Linda, good to see you. Red Honey, much love. Lost in Space, how you doing? William, good to see you. So welcome, Soul Tribe. Speak in favor. Nothing missing, nothing broken. I always come out on top. I am always the head, and I'm always above. Favor greets me wherever I go. It's with me in the city. It's with me in the country. Yeah. Favor, baby. Favor, of course, translating means empowered to prosper. So I guess if that impacts my aura, I would say that probably the spirit realm sees that. At least they're saying, man, the guy walks around all the time saying it, man. What do you do with that? So happy Intelligence Day. May the world find that Gnosis truth yet once again. That's all I've got to say about that. What else is up and around? Julianne, I think you'll appreciate that. So there's things that I acquire along the way. About a year or so, I acquired this little statuette. I think you can see that. This is the goddess Fortuna. And Fortuna was the Roman goddess of fortune, chance, and prosperity, and one of the most popular Roman deities during the period of, I believe that is Servius Tullius. She was the Roman adaptation of the Greek goddess of fortune, Tyche. Other names of fortune were, and there is a whole list. So in other words, this goddess, give you the full view, in ancient cultures, and yet I think it's probably still done to a great extent today. Us humans would acquire these little statuettes, these figurines, and, you know, they would represent the unseen realm. And there are books written on this, and I do have a couple that will study on it. So anyway, Jules, I was thinking of you. Hey, Cass, how you doing, darling? Much love to you. Janie, hello. Gemini Ascension, good to see you. Who's else? Hey, Loretta, Shannon, what's up? So, yeah. What else? So, I guess everyone knows this by now that yesterday Trina's just had some really bizarre things. And everyone has seen Cody, uh, her husky. I think he's a husky. I believe that's the case. In any case, right before we went live yesterday, her dog attacked her daughter. Not once, but twice. And hadn't her daughter's boyfriend been out there to literally defend Trina's daughter, it could have been much worse. So just very strange. Animals are, I mean, there's probably people who understand it better than I do, but when animals go like that, you know, you can't help but think about, you know, what came to mind was the movie Signs, you know, Mel Gibson, and how the animals all started acting weird. Well, to add the weirdness upon weirdness, let me see if I can pull up this story so y'all can see it as well. So our scientists, our telescopes, this is from the sun. We've discovered this mysterious object, unlike anything that astronomers have seen before, that has been discovered in our galactic backyard. Now, what this thing is doing, now this is an artist impression of what we're trying to figure out because we don't know. Anyway, this thing is, it's sending out energy waves every 20 minutes. And I often wonder if that could be something affecting us. You know, I said yesterday that, see, I don't believe that the earth is stationary. I don't believe the sun is. I believe the universe is too large. We can see things spinning. And a lot of debate. Not here to debate that. What's up, Shannon? Wow, had her dog attack her face last weekend. Wow, now that is crazy. I mean, is there a connection between 5G and animals? I showed you that article that detailed what we're doing to the oceans. We're driving the species crazy. We're inflicting pain upon a whole species that we seem to have. Well, okay, so raw, right? But yeah, so, and as I said yesterday, I think that we came through a space and time, for instance, where rock and roll. You know, there was such a plethora of music that was being downloaded. I mean, it was overwhelming. Now it's dried up. And this is not just me. This is many people today think that the music has regressed. Music has no heart. It has no soul to it anymore. It's much more AI. And we seem to have lost the creativity that was so readily available 50 years ago. Hey, David Barry, my husky has been showing a lot of aggression lately, and she normally is soft. Now, you see, isn't that interesting? Wow. Just curious, David, do you live close to a 5G tower? I didn't ask Trina that. I know, Trina, that you listen, hon. Well, Tina says it's 440 hertz. Now, this is really interesting. Are we seeing something that, I wonder how many other stories are out there. Y'all have extensions that I don't have. So put the word out. Ask people if they're experiencing their animals, their pets, acting a little strange. Something going on. That's all I know. And we're energy beings. And imagine if we're now in the bullseye of some object, if it's sending in energy pulses that we're picking up every 20 minutes, then who knows? The strangeness is a walking, step by step, inch by inch. Woo! Okay. Elderberry says, my dog is just bumming out because I got a new puppy. Only dog syndrome. Yeah, that they're just like humans. Discovered that camels are very sensitive, very affectionate animals. Never knew that. Who knew? They love to be touched. They love to be spoken to positively. Who knew? You got to love it. Hey, Karen, what's up, girl? Queen of Quartz. Hello, well to see you, my friend. So the angel for today. So angels. I'm reading my nighttime favorite book, and going to be sad when I finish it. I'll probably go back through it again. It's a great book. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, angels, magic, controlling, or how should we say, working in cooperation with the elementals, aligning in a cooperative manner with the luminaries. And I suddenly started drifting back into my earlier times here, that I grew up, I did not know anything about Islam, never even heard of it. In fact, I guess I was well into my 20s before I really became aware of the Islamic religion. Probably knew a tad bit more. Yeah, Shannon, I think that is the Gaia, Mother Earth is screaming for healing. I agree with that. And by the way, hello, Paul and Gaia. Good to see you as well. I agree. And so I grew up pretty sheltered when you think about it. Really didn't have any knowledge of the Hindu gods, their beliefs, didn't have any understanding or belief of Mesoamerican, did not understand or had any understanding of the Far East beliefs. So I really grew up in a really confined cube of the mind. And what the mind becomes, it carries the spirit into. And I can tell you, at the young age of 5 years old at Vacation Bible School, they weren't teaching us about the Jinn. Nope. In fact, I got to be candid here as well. Don't really think I knew about the Jinn for decades into my journey in this plane. Yet it's older than the religion that I was brought up in. Christianity is a new kid to the block. It's really kind of like at the end of the table. It just hasn't earned its right to be further up. But in any case, yeah. And now, as my curiosity begins to guide me into different areas, the Jinn been everywhere. It appears that the ignorance of the West is that we're so, oh man, we're so indoctrinated. You see, we love the story of the baby Jesus. Oh, because that's the miraculous. But yet, what it's also saying is that there is a race of beings here that are unseen. And they seem to have a propensity to sticking their nose into our business quite regularly. And we seem to be a real attraction. So in the West, we're so far down on the scale. We really are. But we're catching up. I mean, we're like the hamsters. We're getting there. And now many of you who escaped that whole mind meld, well, you're consider yourself either lucky or I'll have to catch that lesson later. Many people say, what do you mean? I don't want that lesson. I hear you. So these unseen beings. Now, I showed you the picture that I took of the house that I grew up as a kid right there in California, of some sort of entity. Many of you remember that and go back and look at it. It was bigger than the damn house. Throughout my lifetime, I've had encounters with spirits. Isn't it odd that we're supposed to be spiritual? I don't know. Does a spirit necessarily need to be spiritual? I don't think so. I think the spirituality of a spirit is a chosen path. I think a spirit can get along just fine in its existence and never have to really touch the spirituality of itself. That's just putting that out there. And when you think about the fact that our existence intermingles with, whether you want to call them entities, spiritual entities, energies, whatever, they seem to be here. They seem to be well entrenched here. They seem to permeate every aspect of every culture of our species, going back beyond just the sapiens, going back to Cro-Magnons and Neanderthals and the rest. Always these invisible beings. And now that I am having a better understanding of these other beings, the Jinn, some call them the Jinn with a D. Wow. And because I was never really exposed to any of the Arabic or Islamic beliefs, there is a great deal written about them. If you've ever followed the paranormal captured on camera, many of the videos that come out of Saudi Arabia, that region of the world, these Jinn, they do materialize, and apparently they don't want to be fucked with. That's this bottom line. And if disturbed, they get violent, mean. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's up with that? Because it's the opposite of what we see with the stories of the angelics. But yet, I know from my indoctrination, going to Bible school, is and being around some of the premier theologians of the day, of my day particularly, I knew about these angelics. You see, when I left Christianity, my view of Gabriel and Michael was no fuzzies. There was no, let me give you a hug there, big bro. My understanding of Gabriel is the angel of death. And that they say that if you ever see Gabriel, you're dead. Gabriel and his exploits have been written about in the Exodus. It was Gabriel that was unleashed upon the Egyptians. Gabriel slayed every male child under the age of 2 without thought, without even second opinion. It's what he was dispatched to do. That's what he did. The other exploit of Gabriel is written about, I believe it is in the book of Samuel, maybe the second, but when the Syrian army was encamped around Jerusalem, again, Gabriel was dispatched by the prophet Elijah, and Gabriel came down and slew 180,000 hardened soldiers in about an hour's time. Again, don't know what that scene must have been like, but one thing we did know, well, it's just the stories, that it was no doubt a bloody scene. So when I started studying on the angels from an esoteric point of view, different type of vibe here. Because again, my teaching originally was you didn't want to mess with these beings. I mean, their appearance would freak us out. The seraphims are reptilians. Martin and Heidi, in Indonesia, there is a tribe called the Jinn, and they only live on nature's rules. They are darker than the people of Indonesia. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Kind of goes in with the Hindi belief, the race of beings that was here that has been removed, but they were blue. Their skin was of such a deep color, they were actually blue. Hey, Andrew, what's up? So what's going on? For instance, we read the angel cards. This is JL, the angel of love and wisdom. Okay. Represents the aspect of God called the helpful God. Okay. Patron of love, fertility, and human relationships, friendships, partnerships, couples, marriage, family, motherhood. Teaches reliability, fidelity, and tranquility in relationships, overcomes difficulties with finding a partner, symbol of the unity between a man and a woman, guides towards a pleasant way of life, shows how to find inner peace of mind and calmlessness, bestows us with emotional strength and stability, teaches how to create a harmonious life, provides justice, wisdom, and intelligence, protects from selfishness, egotism, and corruption. The United States is the 28th most corrupt country. Yikes. And do angels, angelics, different spirit beings, have dominion over countries. Anyway, this angel sounds like a friend. And as I said yesterday, I haven't picked up in any negative vibe, no negative energy. But these angelics, these jinn, demons, devils, are we talking about, is it the same species? Because they're not human. I don't even think they're humanids. I think they're a completely separate species. And then the question becomes, all right, so why all the misinformation, the teachings, it's screwed up in the West. It really is. You have the tooth fairy. You lose a part of your body and it's going to be harvested and they're going to give you money for it. I mean, that's what it's teaching. How many of you have ever given your kids money for losing teeth? Think about it. What is that really teaching them? We talk about guardian angels. So the jinn, I mean, who are they? I mean, why are they? What's the purpose? I in my time of meditating this morning, I really put out there to the spirit realm. What's your purpose? Why are you here? Why is it that you seem to always want to intervene or interfere in the affairs of humanity? How long have you been here? Who created you? And again, what are you? I mean, to me, those are very simple, and it pisses me off that they won't answer. The silence is deafening. It's like, well, all right, fine. Take that attitude. So then it causes you to seek it out. Karen says, because they can. It's like I tell the spirits here, no spirit gets a free ride here. If you're going to hang around here, I'm going to put your sorry ass to work. If you can move things, then your ass can move a vacuum cleaner just as easy, and if you like the basement so much, then you can help do the laundry. It's pretty simple. No freeloaders. And then I got to ask myself, so why are you here? It's rather frightening in one aspect because you're left to believe there ain't no freaking light at the end of the tunnel. Seems to be a lot of spirits are trapped here. We're getting better at it to where we can actually now identify them. We can pick them up on electronic voice recordings. We now have devices that I've shown you that I'm bringing in that can detect them. And the thing that I cannot figure out is that most of them seem lost. They seem unable to, I don't know. Listen, it's kind of freaky when you hear in a mausoleum that you hear a child, female sounding, saying it's trapped. It can't get out. Now, is that really the voice of a child's spirit? Or are we dealing with some pranksters here? Are we dealing with beings that they just get apparently a sick high off of tricking humans? Because we're taught not to communicate with spirits. That's forbidden. Western culture has put the kibosh on that for way long. But yet we're all technically walking dead spirits already, because no matter how you slice it and dice it, darling, your time of death will come. All of them. For us, it's all of us. So what do we do then? Start talking to spirits over there? Well, you'd be like a newborn baby, wouldn't you? I mean, you wouldn't even know how to communicate. You're going to assume they're all going to speak the same thought language as you. And you're going to assume that you can pick up on it quick enough to begin to coherently have a conversation, I guess. I wonder if it would help if we had gotten to know maybe a few of these spirit beings here, that during that transition, hey, thanks for carrying my 6, buddy. Appreciate that. I don't know. I'm just reading some of the chat. And again, okay. Now I have been able to get, and all of these books are on PDF form. I mean, there's some books here that just simply say, you go any further, you accept full responsibility for what happens. Now, that could be a great sales, it could be like we would say, well, that's clickbait, A lot of the channels, they put up this is unbelievable. It's always the shock, the headlines. And, you think about that, that's like a junkie. Got to have our fix, man. Got to have that adrenaline drop. Yeah. Because it's bad news. Yeah. It's leading to the end, and well, that's just death, then, isn't it? It's a death for a species. Well, no, because we got the golden ticket, so we're going to survive. Oh, so you got the free pass. Seriously? And then I asked myself, if cataclysm is coming and these beings have seen it before, they certainly seem to get their ass out of the cataclysm part because they leave us to our own devices. And then we get our ass kicked. Civilization is wiped out. Then we start all over again. And if you're planning to ride the great cataclysm out, my question is why? Why would you want to enter into the other side? It ain't going to be pretty. Is it just because you're afraid of death? It's weird, is it not? Mm-hmm. And this is why people come here, folks. And thank you for hitting the like button and feed the machine. That's what I say. Feed the machine, the algorithm. So I have gathered, because in the study of the magic that actually works, and I tell you, these two authors are great. You have to face the aspect that magic, for the most part, is a Western new phenomenon. Whereas magic in the Far East has been there for way before the Golden Dawn, way before Crowley, way before all the John Dees and all the rest of it. We're talking about the origins even where the Liber Lilith is concerned, a much older knowledge. So I said, well, if magicians of past times knew how to either work with or control, then why did that knowledge become lost? It says that Solomon, and how he did this, but he got the demons to cooperate. Then they built the temple. Now that's kind of weird to me, because I've often thought, well, wait a minute. So you got demons doing supernatural human feats, building architecture for another god that they don't even acknowledge, or in rebellion too. That's some weird shit. I mean, come on. I mean, these beings may be completely psychotic. Maybe they make us psychotic. I don't know. but they sure seem to have the ability to bend the natural laws. I didn't say break them, because I don't think you can do that here, but I do believe they can be bent. Zerloff, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you. So let me show you. Here is a great book. It's called Jinn in the Machine, Approaching Jinn and the Angels in Islam. I am not versed in that faith, that doctrine. It's different, but I have the openness of thought that I can trace where it goes back to, and it goes back pretty far. Now, all religions of the modern era have been basically refurbished, rehabbed. So it takes us students to go back and say, well, then what the heck was going on? Okay. So as he goes here, all right. First revelation, Muhammad retreats to a cave on Mount Hira in the month of Ramadan. Apparently this is the year 610. The apostle would pray in seclusion on Hira every year for a month to practice. And listen, me in Arabic, you know that, and I believe that's the Tahanuth, as was the custom of the core in the heathen days. The heathen days, that's what they look at us. I'm going, okay. If an angel looks at me as a heathen, yikes. Anyway, in this book, Muhammad encounters Jibril, I believe that's how it's said, which is an angel, I guess. It was during this visit that he heard these words, revealed by God through the angel Gabriel, that according to tradition formed the first revealed portion of the Quran. There's Gabriel. And then it's in the name of God, the compassionate and merciful. Read in the name of your Lord. I mean, that's almost one you can fill in your blank. He created man from a clot. Read, and by your most generous Lord, who taught by the pen, he taught man what he did not know. Well, we know apparently very little. I'm not versed in this language. It's a beautiful language. It seems to be expressive. But again, these are the angels you have, and I think that is Mulk, rule, reign, Malik, king, sovereign, Malak, angel, Malaki, angelic. Then you got the angels in Revelation. You see, if we had sent unto thee a written message on parchment so that they could touch it with their hands, the unbelievers would have been sure to say, this is nothing but obvious magic. They say, why is not an angel sent down to him? If we did send down an angel, the matter would be settled at once and no respite would be granted them. If we have made it an angel, we should have sent him as a man, and we should certainly have caused him confusion in the matter in which they have already covered with confusion. This is sending the angels. And where do we have a similar story of this? Abram at the time, and Sarah met the three archangels that later went and what? Destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And why? We pick up the story because we know it was the three witnesses. They rained hell down on two cities, if you go with the story. But if you extrapolate from the story, it's still saying that something happened. And I would say that today we are still covered in that confusion. And the trumpet shall be blown. That will be the day whereof warning has been given. And there will come forth every soul, with each will be an angel to drive and an angel to bear witness. Remember, there's over 100 trillion angels, according to the New Testament. It will be said that that you were heedless of this. Now have we removed thy veil and the sharpest of eyesight this day. The point of this document is you go through this and it becomes very well established how you see the thread woven between these Abrahamic religions. And angels play a key role in all of this. And they're predicting the future. They seem to aid in warfare, both spiritual and physical. They seem to have the propensity to kill humans without thought, even a second thought. But yet they're also said to be sent as messengers, helpers. Confused? I am. I thought this is really they say one of those dark books. This is the book of Azazel. Azazel is, well, you don't want to be in the presence of Azazel. But I like what this author put in here. It said, these lower worlds are a very persistent illusion, and the illusion is useful to us. The infernal empire appears to the human sight to be a dark, dreadful, and often terrifying landscape. This is how our senses can make sense of the thing at all, to assimilate the awareness that what we are encountering when we enter the empire is beyond what our mortal minds should behold, and that indeed we are probing into secrets forbidden to our fragile race. Yeah. So I can pick up on this. I mean, if you've never had an altered state of consciousness, in which most people have, let's say getting drunk, well, that is kind of, it's like the outskirts of this empire, this place. And you know that once you start entering into it, the first thing that you typically find is that you lose your instinctive radars, your inhibitions. And then it gets crazier from there. By the way, this is really a very cool book. This is, again, the book of Azazel. This is the Grimoire of the Damned. So you got to ask yourself on this one. So, and E.A. Ketting, he's an interesting individual because his books are, well, they're real different. Let me just give you a little taste of this, because again, either the angelics are a part of this realm, this reality, this hierarchy that we step into when we leave the physical behind. It's kind of weird. So, is it really this traumatic? I don't think so. And if I was to be faced with it, I'm going to have to call bullshit. I want to know who's in charge. Show me your authority. Show me where you have authority over me. And if you want to fight, let's go for it. I'm not afraid. I've been in fights here before, mental, spiritually, and physical. Not going to scare me. So he says, black magic is the damnedest thing. You can gain all your heart's desires, but once you begin to obtain results, those desires are an oceanic cave that never fills. The black hole sinks deep within your soul. With every step you take, you can feel the pressure building. For years, I have felt this critical mass pushing and building behind me. Like a waiting predator, the darkness of my heart lingered and manipulated my being into a corner. There I found my salvation. Heavy stuff. My beginnings with Azazel started as any working should have. I saw his sigil within a cryptic grimoire. I had read about him before, but the following words that ripped a hole inside of me, giving me an itch that could only be scratched by this fiend. Not friend, fiend. There is a ritual of the brothers, the likes of which opens the abyss fully in your life. Many call this the lake of fire. However, such a name is not worthy enough to describe the horrifying limitless of it, capital IT. If you are called, you may be reborn within the eternal lake. That sounds foreboding. I mean, the number one, I'm asking myself, okay, so does this exist throughout all the whole freaking universe? Is this what the galaxy, the Milky Way is all about? All these other planets got the same bullshit as this? I mean, it's colorful. You know, do I think for a second it's in any way possible? I don't know how. It would defy the natural laws. But anyway, I digress. I'm a novice. So the guy wrote, what was this ritual? I had to know. I say to myself, not particularly. I mean, it's not going to be, something that I particularly found to be a hungering pursuit, but anyway, he says, I began searching with a ferocity that I have never known before. Madness set in quickly. Well, that might have been in your first clue there. The pressure I spoke of before pushed through a new barrier. Life as I understood it would end miserably if my search for the eternal abyss was not found. Perhaps I would have even been better not to seek it in the first place. He obviously didn't see Forrest Gump. I had to tell this dude, run, Forrest, run. I laid out a fairly simple evocation in order to ask Azazel what this ritual was. Before I could even call the conjuration, he formed from the smoke of the incense. Now, I have done a video and I've shown you the pictures of what there is beings that check it out. The swiftness of his manifestation made me stumble and fall to my knees. Yeah, I think that would probably be a normal response. Rise, I will show you the path you seek, my sacrifice. You have chosen me and I you. I will show you the current which the masters and the gurus know, but do not speak. I am forbidden to show a path of such abundance. There is a river that runs beneath everything. It is above all realms of existence where the council of the ascendant sit. When reached, you will not only renew, but different in your very spiritual vitality. Alas, fear not, for you were born into this. Embrace your birthright. You are still weak and require much strength. You must master not only the spirit, but the body and mind as well. Hearing the demon's words, I became enraged, furious at the devil. I stood engulfed in a fiery chasm between me and this vile creature. In my own foolish arrogance, I looked up at him and demanded he obey me. Watching from up high, he spoke again. You have much to learn. I will show you. Agree with me, now a pact of possession. I will leave you within 9 days, after which your body, mind, and spirit will be refocused, and your true path will lay out. So, I mean, is this like a demon? Is this a jinn? Is this an angel? Is this the devil? I don't know. Again, I've had many journeys, but not one like this. With passion still, my chest and pride burning, I reached out and shook his hand, feeling it hard like stone in mine. Repeat this incantation. Tal, Shata, Al Shutu, Tulu, Shatu, Lam Aski. I did as instructed. I fell into a trance. Yeah. Beginning with the mere chant of this incantation, which soon ended with a hint of a whisper. What felt like an eternity was only a few moments. When the whispering stopped, it began. The flames engulfed the candles, and the shadows began to circulate around my body, building a wild tempest. I became faint, and right before I passed out from a surge of power created, I felt all of his spirits and power blast through me 1,000 times over, causing me physical pain and massive spiritual overdose. I can dig this. I mean, this to me is going, yeah, I could see this happening. Vomiting on myself, but to no stamina to wipe it away, I stood in a cross fashion on my tiptoes. I was suspended almost in midair. Then my entire body fell off the cross onto the Palestinian floor. I will not forget what Azel told me in a split moment it took for me to pass out. 9 days of hell you must face your fears and limitations, be engulfed by darkness, embrace it, then rise above it. My body gave up its ghost and was thrust into an ancient ground. The sky burnt velvet purple, blending into the eternity around it. The ground was desolate, destroyed, and ruined. I saw a throne ahead of me and willed myself towards it. The chair of majesty stood above all else, with Azael sitting and pondering on his next task. He knew this world was his, and next would also be. Dante, I will bring to you the knowledge you have sought for so long. All will be yours. Embrace your birthright. Why did he keep saying this to me? Embrace my birthright. It's important to note that in this part of my life, I had already achieved a tremendous amount of power. It becoming buzzing, thrilling, and incredibly difficult to live without a way of taking the edge off. So like most magicians rising to serious power, I turned to drugs. I gradually built up an ungodly level of opiate resistance. In fact, one of my normal doses was enough to kill a horse and 10 men. Just as Solomon said, there was nothing in this life that was unfamiliar to me. Wow. I still got others. So this is, again, more on the background of the Jinn. I like this one. There is scarcely a tale in the whole of the nights which does not have a precursors, derivatives, or analogous versions. Tales evolve into other tales, and they replicate, elaborate, invert, abridged, link, and comment on their own structure in an endless play of transformation. But was there ever the first version of any story? It is almost always impossible to tell when a story was first told and when it was first written down, or how it was transmitted, and impossible to say what the last telling and final version of a story will be. Good stories pay little attention to cultural or linguistic frontiers. Man, where's the freaking time gone? All right, we're going to have more fun because now we're blending this all in. I guess the story that we are, opening the third eye, understanding the word magic, beginning to understand why words are so important, understanding how magic works, the names that are invoked. Why? I don't know. So it's interesting about the game Dungeons and Dragons. That game was, how shall I say, it taught a new generation of magic. And in fact, so many of these games that are now becoming into the immersive realm, virtual reality, the Oculus is now out there, is quite interesting because my generation, we didn't grow up with a computer. We used our imaginations. Our imaginations created for us. This is just a theory that I've been looking at, this immersiveness of injecting this younger generation into these metaverses, these universes that it's literally sucking us dry. It takes away our ability to begin to really create, because now our creative aspect is now been basically siphoned off, and they're addictive. Many people, I don't know how someone sits for nearly 50 hours. There have been stories of many young people in the age of 16, 17 dying of heart attacks because of being immersed in these games. But what I can also see what's happening is that nothing that we create in the physical realm is, how shall we say, left unused in the spirit realm. And it's interesting because on this book here, this is, I'll get there in a second. I just want to write you, because this is some good writing. I like this. It says, what you're about to read is not for the faint of heart. Well, that's going to suck you right in right there, isn't it? You will be creating a powerful spiritual entity, an entity that will know you better than you know yourself. It will know all your secrets, your weaknesses, and your strengths. My question is, are we creating something, or are we inviting something that merely becomes like a wrapper? It contains our wrapper, but we ain't got no idea what it really is. Again, this one here is dealing with the daemons. He calls them this. He says, it'll also be your servant. Now, you see, this is a problem, because I think that this is not correct. Not saying that they won't serve you. I'd rather them cooperate, because servitude is not something that I want to endure. It will do whatever you tell it to do. Well, that's a robot, right? Both good and ill. Although it is you who will create it, its energy and life forces traces back deep into primordial time. People throughout history, and even to this day, call upon these entities for help. They aren't quite gods. They aren't quite angels. They are daemons, entities that live between the veil of the spirit and the earth, between the mundane and the esoteric. They are self-existent and yet created by all of us. Many use daemons, yet do not know what they do. Yeah. We're going to get into this tomorrow. I mean, and in this book here, this is actually just a paper. It's about, kind of gives you the Reader's Digest unabridged edition, the Cliff Notes, where we can really get in very quickly about the Jinn, because these Jinn, by all the means, they do work with humans. They're powerful. They're the invisible ones. And I think in the West, there's just so little known about them. I have one person has said that, these hierarchies have different realms of the worlds that they actually control. And as a result, many of these spirit beings, these unseen races, they really can't cross boundaries, so to speak. They don't have their papers. And I knew I wasn't going to get through all of these, but real quick, there is one more. This is Jinn Magick and how to bind the Jinn to do your bidding. Now, the reason why I brought all these out was stop share. Thank you. There we go. He's back. Yeah, Nina, I know you're up right after I am. Tone, you're absolutely right. They shepherd us like pawns to the king. Yeah, they do. And I've been a resistor all my life. I don't like, I'm one who's going to say no. And, yeah. So the only way I know if they're an enemy, then I have the opportunity to study them now. If I'm going to have to encounter them in the next life, I want to know what I'm encountering. I don't know. Maybe, maybe we don't encounter them all. Hey, Tina Bop, what's up, girl? Good to see you. All right, hit the like button. Thanks, folks. Tune into Nina's show. Hey, Kaz, much love to you, darling. Right back at you. This is, folks, the title of the channel is The Journey. So come along with me. Yeah, the bus is fine, We got plenty of refreshments, and it's a good place to hang out, comfortable place. All right, folks, this has been fun. Big Al, much love to you. Say hello to Perry right next to you. Thanks, Susie Q. Like the shadows that could control the giants, they had no choice but to work with them. Woo, Tone, that's profound. Hey, Divine Empress. Yeah. And now learning what the term legal and lawful is. Yeah, we want to know what lawful is, in the spirit realm, because I have a feeling what's here is there as well. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Much love to all of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sending out healing out there, Marcia. Trust you're recovering. Robert V. and the rest of you. There is a brighter today. That's what I see. Tomorrow is always tomorrow. I'm saying there's a brighter today. All right. Y'all are looking good. I'm feeling the energy. Beautiful. I'm just going to soak it up here a minute. All right, folks. See you tomorrow. All right. Have fun. That's what you're supposed to do. Have fun.